Well, for me, it was always clear I wanted to become a soccer player. Yeah, always.
I want to create all these opportunities and the lifestyle that I have for other people who want the same.
Hi, my name is Sydney Lohmann. I'm a professional soccer player and I play for Bayern Munich.
Hi, I'm Satou Sabali. I play for the Dallas Wings in the WNBA and for Fenerbahce in Istanbul. And before that, I played for Oregon and I'm from Berlin, Germany. It's actually a really crazy story. So I started playing basketball when I was 9 years old, and then I don't know, with like 14, the first scouts from America started to just look at the national team games, and that's how I kind of started my college road after high school. And doing my Abitur in Freiburg, I went to college and didn't choose the university in Germany because I just wanted to combine sports and academics better together.
Well, for me, it was always clear I wanted to become a soccer player. Yeah, always. But I don't even know when that was the first time I thought about it. I always thought I'm the only girl playing soccer in Germany. Yeah, because you never really got in touch with other girls. And I always thought I will be the first one playing in a men's team.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So I actually started playing basketball with boys as well.
Yeah.
And I also didn't know of any other girls teams until I got into like the Berlin Kader. Wow. So how much has it grown since then? I mean, I hope that when a girl starts playing soccer now, it's an amazing dream to have, but she should see herself in like the best women's player on the women's national team.
Yeah, I think it's actually a good question because a lot has changed. Girls do have, I think, also us as role models. At my time, I knew a few players from the national team, and also like my favorite player was Marta from Brazil. And I watched YouTube videos, but I couldn't imagine how it was being a professional women's player.
It's so different when I compare my journey with basketball in Germany and basketball in America. It's obviously very different with the opportunity of going to college and being in the system of you have basketball practice like 4 hours a day. Everything is so included, and academics is a priority, but it's still integrated like that.
If we look to America or Canada, it's just normal for them. Every school has, I don't know, a basketball team or football team, soccer team. Yeah, and it's just normal, but here it isn't. You need to take action actively if you want to join a club.
I think so too. Like you said, you really have to be proactive to even get into sports. Your parents have to drive you after school. So everything, mind you, for the global audience, everything is so separated between sports and school. So when you have things that just make it easier, you would see a lot more women in sports. You would see a lot more little girls continuing sports because the dropout rate is so high. I think it's better in the US for sure, but again, there's such a big gap between how women's or girls, right? It always starts with the girls are being funded and then how boys are being funded. You see it within the tournaments that the boys get and the women's never even have. All these different opportunities, but I think that major leagues, like the NCAA, the college league, and the WNBA also have done so much to push women's basketball.
When we were in Louisville last summer, I think for us it was so weird. We got out of the plane and then we came out and all the cameras and all people just shouting at us, and that was, for us, it was so weird because we're not used to that in Germany. Here we have to fight to get recognition. Yeah, and also a big thing is that we don't have equal opportunities. Young girls, I think it's way harder for them to start in a club, especially in a boys' team, but many clubs don't even have girls' teams. So what do? And many think, oh, okay, I'm not accepted, or maybe she doesn't even want to play in a boys' team. And I think that's just not okay.
Sydney, you went to Louisville, and I was actually there as well. And I went to the Museum of Muhammad Ali, and it was totally amazing. He's also an athlete that has just always inspired me to do the right thing and stand up, even as an athlete, to speak up.
Yeah, we were in that museum, and I think I knew Muhammad Ali before, but I actually didn't know what big part of that activism took in his life. I think it's so inspiring what he did. Yeah, because he wanted to make that change, and in an even more difficult time than we have now. We have that campaign, it's called Reds Against Racism. And I think it's important to spread awareness, of course, every day, but also to take time to focus on that.
I think really the biggest thing that is so important when we talk about such campaigns, and you know, the Reds versus Racism campaign, I read some things about it, and it's really great because I think it teaches a lot of things, and it just opens up the conversation around, hey, there is racism, what can we do about it? And I think it's really important that a big club like FC Bayern Munich really does so much for it. It's amazing. Say Her Name is actually it came from the term intersectionality, basically, that with every issue that we have on the world, we oftentimes neglect the experience of Black women. So, you know, with all the police brutality happening for years and centuries, but with the visible police brutality, I think it was really important to also highlight the police brutality towards Black women. And that is what Say Her Name is about. It is basically about saying the names, you know, of Breonna Taylor, because oftentimes we don't look at those stories. The news stories are mostly only of Black men, and a whole demographic of people just gets pushed aside, which is a woman, and then the Black woman, because it's just from like, yeah, it's just like the last people on the chain almost. And it's sad to say, but it's really an important issue that we, as a primarily Black women's league, had to raise. And so we had Breonna Taylor's name on the back of our jerseys instead of our last name, because we really said, okay, it's important to also say her name. It's important to educate people about all the injustice that happens, and not only the injustice that happens to men. And I think as a women's league, we just owe it to the other women, you know, to the women that look like us, to the women that it affects. And it was amazing to see the support of so many people around the league. You know, you had teammates who have never been affected by racism, you know, stand up. And I think that is what's so amazing.
I talked to a friend of mine, and yeah, I asked her how she was because of that whole situation. And then she just, I knew her for years already. And then she just started like talking and how she felt about all that and what she experienced. And I was so shocked. And I didn't even know that she felt that way and that she experienced racism that much. And yeah, that shocked me so much. And also that maybe you are part of that without even knowing. But it's just so important to discuss that, and yeah, to reflect yourself, and without judging anybody, but just to know that it is an issue, that we still have racism, and that it is a social problem.
So I was pretty much involved in a lot of work around racism and equality in college already. And my agent knew that I'm really passionate, especially about Black Lives Matter. And then when the WNBA kind of mobilized to put a council together, like a committee, we just got some players together, and I definitely wanted to be a part of it and just kind of sit by the table and listen, because it was my first year. And mind you, I'm just fresh out of college, but I really wanted to be part of something that is going to make a change. Yeah, it was amazing. We met Breonna Taylor's mom. It was just a lot of resources that were given to us, and we were able to, you know, host those conversations, have those all together, and just be kind of a group of people who are like the open microphone to media.
That's something Germany could catch up.
Yeah, I think really just opening the door for conversation and should happen in Germany, because there's been a lot of cases of racism, even, you know, from the stands, from the fans towards Black players, and that is just something that is unacceptable. And I think that has been happening often enough. And racism happens in Germany. We just kind of, you know, like push it under the rug, but it's there. It's hard to even realize what is all going on, but I think I'm an optimistic person, and I think there's a lot of great people doing the right thing and doing so much important work for, you know, equality, for women, for communities that are being forgotten so many times.
Exactly. I also think that, of course, there are many topics where they're all negative, and we say, oh, they need to be improved and it needs to get better. But I think it's a good start that we're here, that we're talking about it.
So for the start, I would say don't be afraid. And even if you are, just do it, because you're really being pushed into a whole new world, and it's okay to feel uncomfortable. And it's okay if you cannot do things that everyone else can do so well in your eyes. You know, everyone is learning every single day. So just really try to step forward, step out of your shell.
I think also to just enjoy the process. I mean, not everything will work out as you planned, but it's just to keep going. Also to, no matter what you want to do, just do it, even though you make mistakes. Yeah, thanks too for the conversation. I think I've learned a lot from you. It was awesome, and I hope when we come to the US, we can watch a game of yours. That would be really cool.
Yes, likewise. I really enjoyed it, and as soon as I'm in Munich, I need to watch a game. I have to.